Well, we are continuing to improve by putting more data sets. Today we have more than 8,000, 55,000 downloads, more than 100 applications created, and we can do more. In the one map, which is geospatial, we have over 60 layers, and I think also we can do a lot more than that. And through this, we go and source ideas from the public. We also allow private sector organizations, individuals to co-create apps, and through mashup applications, through use of geospatial technology, I think we are seeing an increasing range of really wonderful applications that can change the quality of life. So these are some of the examples, and maybe I just take a few seconds to take a look at some of these. Well, Parks Life is done by students. So if you go to the park, it gives you augmented reality. And you can see from the direction and the distance all the attractions. Good to have, but sometimes it's critical, especially when you have to go to the loo in emergency. And this one will help you make a decision whether you can make it or you have to have a plan B, right? After that, as DPM say, you can even rate the loo for improvement. I won't leave home without it because when there's a traffic jam through accident, it can set you back half an hour or more. So I always check before I come. But sometimes even reaching the car park, you're all jostling for places. Well, maybe a few months from now, I can even book car park space through wonderful apps like this. So beat you to it, didn't I? Next, we go into connecting. I think increasingly, citizens will participate in shaping the future. And they'll come in all platforms and a whole range of issues, from policies, programs, feedback on service deliveries, and so on. The most important thing is we have to close the loop. So all this feedback coming to us, all this engagement, we have to take them seriously and somehow communicate to the citizens that their views are heard and the loop is closed. So agencies has been moving in a big way. There's more than 30 public consultations last year alone, and all these consultation papers are put online to receive online feedback. Gone into Facebook, Twitters, YouTubes, and will continue to do so, including using some more latest way of communicating like chats and so on. These are some of the crowdsourcing apps, and again, feedback on issues from all over the place, infrastructure, roads, environment, even in the workplace. It could be nostalgic app like SG Memory, all the wonderful old photographs and movies. And NLB, why do they crack their head wondering what books to buy when they can actually crowdsource to the people who borrow the books to tell them what books they are interested in? One of the key things is that, like suggest a book, it takes only 3 weeks to launch it. And going to my next point on the catalyzing. Well, you heard Mike Bracken, especially when things are moving so fast, you can't afford to have 9 months, 1 year to launch something. So through the agile computing, where we literally shorten the time frame so that the user will prioritize what is important, have more iterations, fail safe, fail fast, and then maybe after you launch it, you get a lot more insight to plan for the next one. So this is coming, especially citizen-facing touchpoints are fantastic areas where we can reap the most advantage. We will introduce design thinking because we have to really make applications simpler, accessible, usable, useful, and maybe consistent and so on. So design thinking will be featured in because ultimately we have always to bear in mind the user. Who are the users? As much as we did for application, we will do the same for infrastructure. I remember the H1N1 when it hit Singapore. The healthcare website, we boost the resources by 300%. But within 3-4 days, it crashed. And then we have to run helter-skelter to get servers to beef it up. And then we boosted it up to about 500%, and again it crashed. And after 1 week, we boosted it up to 1,000%, and it managed to stand the load. That's because if you were to buy servers, it will take you 6 to 8 weeks. With the cloud, 4 hours, I think. So same thing, we can't have wastage, we can't have all this long turnaround time. We can't be investing a lot of money buying servers, starting with only 20% capacity and so on. So cloud is going to change the landscape. It's going to be a lot faster, a lot agile, scalable, and this is the way moving forward in the fast-changing world. And of course, at this stage, we are putting a lot of software as a service into the cloud. We'll see a lot more sensors coming up because things are just getting faster and faster. So real-time information from all over the place will be coming in, from soil to temperature to water to what have you, cameras. And this will result in even more explosive growth of data that we already have. And it will be huge because the velocity, the size will be tremendous. And will come in all forms and shapes and sizes. Unstructured text, images, video, motion, all this will be coming in. And it means the business analytics, social analytics will be a key area for us because this is a gold mine of information. If only we can really look and tap on the history to get the hindsight, to have a deeper insight, hopefully discovering patterns so that we can have foresight. Analytics will be the key to improving our service delivery in the future. So ultimately, really, is putting citizens in the center of our plans so that through this the 360 view, we can do the right things and we can do it right. Next, I just want to touch you on, show you how complex to solve today's problem. I think DPM over a year ago came up with this question. Who is in charge of the pigeon, right? The first one is a pigeon. Well, there's an agency because their droppings can be quite toxic. The second one is a crow. Hey, there's another agency in charge of it because the crow can be very aggressive and they have a sore throat kind of voice which is irritating. So sometimes they do cull them. The third one, angry birds. Well, some rich gamers, young youths from Scandinavia who got very rich. What about the fourth one? The fourth one is a miner. And guess what? Nobody is in charge of miner. But I have an experience with the miner because in front of my house is a big tree which I park my car underneath. Somehow the miner, when they look at my car, it becomes a very nice toilet bowl. And they pull on it every morning. Of course, for 5 years, I try my best to find ways to have this outcome, but I can't cut down the tree, I can't use the catapult. So after 5 years, I shifted house. Happy bird, angry man. So today, because of what DPM has said, one agency in charge of all birds. Anything that has a wing and can fly in the Singapore airspace is the agency. And not forgetting, all animals, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 feet, anything that walks on the soil of Singapore, same agency. You thought that would solve the problem, right? Well, 2 weeks ago, Straits Times, hey, this is not a bird, this is not an animal, it's a reptile. And that reptile is here not on work permit, it's a permanent resident. and it's in water. So within 2 weeks, we had to redefine the rules again of the agency. Well, I think 2 weeks ago, the HCS, Peter Ong, I think by now you know if you want to be HCS, you have to be called Peter, right? Peter Ong came out in a newspaper report about the issue, right, on this. So he said, okay, birds and animals, agency A. Of course, now he has to add reptile in. And then he said the second one was noise. So he said, any noise, agency B, okay? And the third one is infrastructure, any infrastructure, agency C. And then the fourth one is cleanliness, agency D. Today, if you receive a feedback, my neighbor's dog barked whole night and pooed in front of my door. You have 3 agencies involved, right? Animal, noise, and cleanliness. So I tell you, this is the world today. It changes so fast. New York City 311, whom we visited about 2 months ago, you know, after 10 years, they still have 16 high-powered people figuring out gray areas. That is the extent of the complexity. That's why today, collaboration is really the way to go. Well, I just want to end with this one. So we have a collaborative government, co-creates and connect with the people. Okay, if you have to remember one thing, just remember this cartoon, right? Say in future, technology will be so powerful that successful company will be very simple. Need 3 entities. You need a computer, you need a CEO, and you need a dog. The role of the computer, because it's so powerful, is to run the whole organization. So the role of the CEO is to entertain. That's why you see he's playing golf and so on. I don't mind that job, actually. And the role of the dog is to bite the CEO if he dares to touch the computer. Actually, you shouldn't be laughing because this is a horror movie. Unless you're CEO, all of you will be out of job. But I must say that this is not going to happen because we need people, we need staff. Internally, we need to collaborate. We need to collaborate with our partners, our customers. You can see from the example, the computer is not going to solve the problem. You need to eyeball, you need people who make decisions. So I think the collaborative government who co-creates and connects the people certainly will be very relevant moving forward. So thank you. Hope you enjoy your session.